Did you meet Kim Jong-un?
As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits.
Who is it that you confused Kim Jong-un with?
My time in serving and making policies in this country has been extensive and covered decades.
Right, but you never went to North Korea. I know you read this book before it was published because you released video of your recording of the audiobook. You didn't catch these errors when you were recording it?
South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who is considered to be on Donald Trump's shortlist as a VP pick, had a train wreck of an interview on Face the Nation over the weekend. Seems like she wasn't so prepared to face the nation, but the nation faced her and they did not like what they saw. Now, apparently Noem's book, including an anecdote about allegedly meeting with and staring down Kim Jong-un, might have been made up. Even though she referenced it twice in her book.
Not might have, it was definitely
it was made up.
They took it out of the book. And she said like half a dozen times there, yeah, well, luckily that's been edited out of the book and that won't be in there. And so she was like, so you did meet Kim Jong-un. She's like, luckily that was edited out of the book. It's no.
Good news is we got the videos, Cenk.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so let's get to the first clip where she's confronted about it for the first time during this conversation with Brennan.
You talk about meeting some world leaders and one specific one, quote, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all. Did you meet Kim Jong-un?
Well, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage. And I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits. So I'm glad that this book is being released in a couple of days and that those edits will be in place and that people will have the updated version.
So clearly she dodged the question, which led Brennan to ask directly once again, did you meet with Kim Jong-un?
So you did not meet with Kim Jong-un, that's what you're saying?
No, I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. I think I've talked extensively in this book about my time serving in Congress, my time as governor, before governor, some of the travels that I've had. I'm not going to talk about my specific meetings with world leaders. I'm just not going to do that. This anecdote shouldn't have been in the book. And as soon as it was brought to my attention, I made sure that that was adjusted.
You talk about your time in the Armed Services Committee from 2013 to 2015. In that period of time, the leader of South Korea was a female president. I'm wondering, who is it that you confused Kim Jong-un with?
Oh, I think you need to remember, Margaret, and everybody needs to remember that I've worked on ag policy and federal policy for over 30 years. My time in serving and making policies in this country has been extensive and covered decades.
Right, but you never went to North Korea.
I make no specifics in this book. I talk about the fact that, yes, I have. I've been there. So
you went to North Korea?
You went to the DMZ, and there are details. There are details in this book that talk about going to the DMZ and specifics that I'm willing to share. There's some specifics I'm not willing to share with you.
What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What? Like, every foible that we've seen from Kristi Noem in recent days centers around the fact that she's obviously trying to seem like this tough guy or tough woman. Don't make up stories to paint that picture of yourself. It's so pathetic. There's one more clip where Brennan confronts her about, the lies. I'll get to that in just a second, but Cenk, thoughts?
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you. My two favorite parts. As soon as that passage was brought to my attention, you wrote the book.
Allegedly.
Right, so who brought it to your attention that you wrote that you met with Kim Jong-un when you didn't? Okay, so now you know that a lot of people use ghostwriters, right? So, and some other interviewers have literally asked her about, like, did your ghostwriter put this in and you just never read your own book that you theoretically wrote? But Margaret Brennan makes a good point, which I hadn't considered. She did the audiobook version, so she at least read that passage while doing the audiobook. So that means no, this wasn't just comical, I wrote a book and didn't even read it, okay? No, this was her actively lying about it.
Yes,
on purpose.
yes, it was intentional.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like, oh, the ghostwriter put that in and I didn't see it. It was just, I told the ghostwriter to lie about a lot of things. So I didn't bother double checking. No, she knew. She definitely lied about it.
Can we go to that moment of that conversation, Cenk? Because Brendan does make a good point, and Kristi Noem totally flails. Like, you are on the short list for VP pick. You should know that you're going to be Oppo researched like crazy. But anyway, here's how she handled it.
You made the point to bring him up twice, and that he was a little tyrant.
Do you have a question for me, Margaret?
Yes, I do. South Korea is a treaty ally. North Korea is a nuclear armed adversary. So that's a pretty big thing to confuse. I know you read this book before it was published because you released video of your recording of the audiobook. You didn't catch these errors when you were recording it?
Oh, Margaret, as soon as it was brought to my attention, I took action to make sure that it was reflected. And listen, this is what is so discouraging about politics and the media today, is that we have the White House that just recently came out and confirmed that President Joe Biden has misspoken, has made mistakes, has even outright lied over close to 150 times.
You lied about meeting Kim Jong-un and staring at this little tyrant down twice in your book. And then you pretended like you didn't mean for it to be in the book when there's video of you reading the audio version of the book for the audiobook.
Yeah, but Anna, as soon as it was brought to her attention that she was lying and had gotten caught lying.
Disaster.
Then she decided to tell the editors to take that particular lie out. How many other lies will they take out as we catch more and more? We'll find out. But it's that dastardly media. And that's the real discouraging thing about media, is sometimes they actually do their job and catch us politicians. Like, it's not that often, it's really rare, but discouraging when they do it. But I haven't gotten to my second favorite part, which is when she said, look, I'm not gonna talk about my meetings with world leaders. It's in the book. Like, that was the whole point. Like, you talked about it in the book filled with lies. We caught the lies, that's why we're having the conversation. It's not like the media was like, let's make her talk about her meetings with the world leaders. It's in the news because you wrote about it, where presumably you wanted to talk about it because you put it in your book. I had to cut out like 300 pages out of my book. So the things that you put in your book are the things you really, really want to say, okay?
Look. For a long time, I've felt that there's a double standard in the publishing industry in regard to the intensive fact checks that occur when someone on the left is trying to publish a book versus someone on the right.
Oh, I was fact checked 4 different times.
Like, how did this ever get published to begin with, right? If she's never met with Kim Jong-un, it's a completely fabricated story. How did the publisher let this slip? And the fact that it was mentioned not once but twice in the book, it's kind of incredible.
Because when people have power, they pretend to take fake offense. If hey, did you really meet with Kim Jong-un? How dare you? I thought we were allies and partners in publishing this book. Whereas when I'm like, hey brother, it's in the New York Times. Here's the exact quote. They're like, okay, but let's check it 3 more times. Okay, go ahead. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.